Guys, we got round us in the hole. We're at a full quarters dig. I believe it's somewhat the 21st, is it? Yes, the 21st of June 2015. I've had a musket ball so far, and that of a buckle with the lever still intact on the strap. But I believe we got round us in the hole here. I'm gonna get it out with the trowel very carefully. Oh, trying not to damage it in any way. Oh. Yep, seems to be quite circular, doesn't it? Sorry. Oh, I think it's a button. Or is it? Quite possibly that of a tomback button. Georgian though, quite possibly. Yep, unfortunately it is a button. Okay guys, you won't believe this, but earlier this should I say, somewhat, that's half an hour ago, I was walking in the park with my parents, and it was as of the precise location of Woolscote Park in Woolscote, if you know what that is, near Halso and Stourbridge, anywhere to associate those main locations geographically. But right on the surface there was a 1933 halfpenny from the reign of George V of the smaller head variety in his reign, which dated from 1930 to 36 of that variety. And I just can't believe it, because it's the second coin of the year. It's June 2015. This obviously will be incorporated into that of episode 12 of the Detecting Worcestershire series. It's just unbelievable. It's absolutely astonishing. I was speechless at the time, and I delayed myself for a couple of seconds, seeing as though it was such a fantastic find that I was utterly speechless somewhat before I actually recognised it was George V, which I did so obviously know instantaneously without reaction for a delay of somewhat 2 seconds. It was brilliant condition. It was just lying there on the surface. It was a surface find on a previously cobbled pathway that obviously had many pebbles, and just a normal rough cobbled pathway that was usual in the Victorian period. This was near to mid-19th century houses at its extents. Obviously the reason to why I found George V coin there, dated from 1933. Which I believe, actually, guys, that this is the very rare year in his reign, and it could be worth considerably more, not as significantly more, actually, 1933. But it's truly spiritual, this. It's spiritually come to me rather than... Luckily, it's almost entirely spiritual. Someone's just given me this. And the last coin that I found was... So this is a second coin. I'm in competition with that of my father, which so far has found no pre-decimal coins, as well as decimal, obviously, since... so far this year, 2015. So a bit of hay fever there, and a blocked nose, possibly a viral infection. As are very common these days, in this day and age, and were previously several centuries ago, but obviously of greater severity then. But medicine does its best nowadays, so nothing too scientific or demonstrational there for that of chemistry purposes. But that's gorgeous, 1933. And the last coin, as I was going to previously say, not to make this video too long, this short clip, well, not very short momentarily, is it 2 minutes 45 seconds long, but it was on the 15th of February 2015 at a Clodhopper Melt Detecting Club dig. The finds from that dig should be on the Clodhopper Melt Detecting Club YouTube channel. The link won't be in the description, but I'm sure you can search that in the YouTube search bar, and you'll successfully come across it. It will be one of the first results, I believe. And, well, enough information about the club. Yeah, it was in Herefordshire, near the main location of Abergavenny. And obviously Ross and Wye, rather near that as well. And I found George II halfpenny, dated, 1740s, of the young gun variety anyway. And, well, I just can't believe it. It's a surface find. It was just sitting there waiting for me, as if it had never been in the ground, just recently dropped, although it has had tarnishing and has been worn away rather Not very much at all, obviously. It's rather insignificant loss of patina and detail on there, seeing as though it's surface fine. So it must have been just kicked up by some, not natural effort, but sort of human effort that's been obviously surfaced over several decades. And I believe it was only at its peak, somewhat 1 inch under the ground anyway, as it wouldn't have got deep in that, obviously, in that cobbled footpath, but... and other conclusions would come to say that it was from the local allotment, which was right next to where I was walking, and somehow magnificently came across this coin, brilliant, which could have been obviously caused by the accession of manual ploughing over the previous somewhat 20 years that the allotment's been there, as what I can recall, obviously. But I haven't lived that long, but I'm sure I can get information from my father upon how long it's been there, because he has great knowledge of the area. Absolutely amazing, though. I cannot believe it. I'm still astonished. I'm still fascinated, magnificently. It's just absolutely brilliant, this. It's exquisite. That's why I should put that. And anyway, I hope that Sunday at Cloddopus Dig I'll find some more of these, and the week after at Shattersford with the forequarters I should find more. But I'm sure, well, obviously Sunday was rather unsuccessful for that coins. Just a couple of buttons and a musket ball, that was it. But it's amazing, without a metal detector I find a coin that I actually... a coin that I haven't found of George V since somewhat last year, a year or so. So it's quite amazing. I haven't even used a metal detector to find one. It's just unrealistic, but it's in some realism, but rather unrealistic to some extent. But other than that, guys, the astonishment is making me talk for so long. It's amazing. I'm sure episode 12 is a very long, is a very long episode, but somewhat an hour or so. But I have many clips to show you, many interesting and wonderful and fascinating facts, which do go in the same context together very well. And I'm sure, as a result of that, I hope that I wish you, quite obviously, you yourselves which wish me the best of luck for the next digs, and I obviously wish yourselves very much so a lot of perseverance and luck. That's of your future outings in the world of detecting, and I very much hope you find those glorious and brilliant and exquisite having coins from years gone by, and I really do hope that for you guys, as well as what's amazingly happened to me tonight. It's somewhat a godly act that has occurred, but I cannot believe it. I thought it was a twopence at the start, which is obviously the pronunciation that we would use for a 2 pence, and that a professional numismatist would use, seeing so he would abbreviate the pronunciation slightly, because he cannot be simply bothered to say 2 pence instead of twopence. But it's a very knowledgeable fact that that is reasonable, and it is an absolutely amazing condition there. But I have to admit, it's just amazing. Without further ado, in a bit. Okay, I just got a George V penny. It's dated 1911. You just can see the impression there. I've only been doing it about 15 minutes, so it turns out to be a brilliant dig already. So 1911 for the collection. Rather successful hunt already. So let's see if we can find some more. And I've actually had a 19th century ringlet, some additional facts, so... there we are. Guys, we've got silver in the hole here. Seems to be a silver sixpence. My dad found it with the garret. Oh, figures George V. Oh wow. Yeah, that is really good. It's another one for the collection, that. Imprinted KG there. Obviously the mint marker's initials there. 1936 George V silver sixpence, so this would obviously be 50% silver.
My dad just got a really good double dinger on the Galatea 250. That's what you call it. It's a repetitive bell sound, which does indicate a coin in many cases. And this is one of them. So, oh, it's about somewhat 2 or 3 inches deep. Let's get it out. Oh, it's 1930. So that will be George V, just like the one I found earlier.
Okay guys, we just got on Edward VII's penny from this hole over here. It's dated 1907. Unfortunately, I did forget to take my GoPro today, so I will not be making some POV footage of detecting, but I'm very fortunate for this, really. Edward VII's penny. A very good bell tone reading on the Galatea 250 from my father, and as well as on the Goldmax, an absolutely brilliant signal, a very sweet tone, which gives indication of coin in many circumstances, so, well, have to admit, that is lovely. Absolutely gorgeous. Penny of Edward VII, dated 1907. It's in rather terrible condition though, but I'm sure. It is obviously 108 years old, so that's reasonable. 108 years old, rather brilliant coin that.